Hi, welcome to this episode of Founder's Journey. Today I have Tracy Lownsberry. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Tracy, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Tracy, we find each other on LinkedIn, I remember correctly.
That's right.
Yeah. And then you start telling me about the academy that you do, the Facebook group you have, and I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. And let me get you on the podcast and talk about all the cool things you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are, talk about your life, your insurance career, your annuity career, and all the things you do to teach others, to teach other insurance, annuity, financial professionals in what you do. So the mic is yours.
Cool, man. Well, first off, I appreciate you having me on, obviously. And I think it's obviously important for people to kind of understand a little bit as to, who's Tracy, why does he do what he does, how does he help the industry, all of that. So, kind of go back here, kind of a very short 10,000 foot overview here. I started the insurance world in 2017, working for a captive agency. Fast forward, I was recruited under an RIA. I was able to learn a lot about the finance side. And I actually broke off from there and started my own insurance company, focusing on things like Medicare, a little bit of life insurance, but mostly Medicare annuity stuff. And then sold my Medicare side and have been focusing as an annuity niche for quite a few years now. I think going on 5 years as that being my niche. And found a lot of success in doing it, and doing it the right way, obviously learning as I go, as best I can, and really following that financial advisor approach to things. Although I don't do managed money, but we partner with a lot of people on that side to make sure that we're just looking at it through the lens it should be looked at. And then how annuities really fit. And then obviously that kind of built a following. And I decided that I really liked the idea of training other advisors and agents how to do it, and that developed into a Facebook group, which grew to the largest social media group for annuity individuals, agents, advisors, yeah, very quickly. We had almost 5,000 members in there, and that is what stemmed an actual training academy that we designed. It's called Annuity Giants Agents Academy, and we made the group private and ended up going into that space of, hey, let's train agents and advisors without, you know having this kind of recruiting undertone, or like you got to have your contracts with us or anything like that. It's just a subscription model. Anybody can come in and learn. And we go basically from A to Z. And then that actually developed into a leads platform, which now helps advisors set up, like their own personalized CRM, and generating leads from the CRM through social media marketing. So it kind of developed into this animal that we never really intended it to be, but you see a need, and you go at it. So, I saw a need in my own practice. I'm a producer. I'm out there producing every day. And every time I make a change and try something new, I'm able to then just regurgitate that to the people that work with us on the subscription side. And it's a pretty cool model. So I don't see anybody else doing it. So we were just in that space of like, let's do the right thing and help people the way they should be helped.
Do you guys have your own CRM model?
Yeah, it's like a white labeled. We use Go High Level, so it's a Go High Level variant. We just white label it and customized it with some JavaScripting, some C++ stuff, making it the way that we want it, and then integrating it, building it out the way that makes sense for somebody in the financial services industry focusing on annuities.
Go high level, have a pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Assuming you guys using the AI agent inside of it. Thank you for watching this video. Now a quick message from our sponsor, Mav.
Thanks, Jeff. I want to let you all in on a secret that top producing agencies don't want you to know about. If you're in P&C insurance, you know firsthand how much you're getting squeezed by your call center. It's becoming less predictable and less economically profitable to scale. But here's the thing. The top producing agencies making over $100 million are not running their leads through a human-based call center. They're running them through an AI expert like Mav to qualify, quote, and hand deliver the highest intent qualified leads to your agents. Mav takes care of the back and forth, having unlimited 24/7 conversations with your leads that are personal and relevant so you can scale to the moon. Ready to ditch your call center and 10x your agency? We're giving the listeners of InsureTech's $15,000 worth of credit to try MAV. Head to hiremav.com/insuretex to claim this offer.
Yeah, when it's appropriate. Yep. We gave it about 80,000 pages of transcripts from Zoom meetings with clients so that it kind of knew how Tracy did things. And we gave it about 10 pages of guidelines on what not to do and what to do. And it does pretty well. I will say that although AI is pretty powerful and pretty awesome, there's not a lot that replaces me or my assistant. That does seem to give a better result. But when you don't have time, that's where AI is pretty fantastic, and also scalability. So yeah.
That's really thought out. What about the funnels? So you guys using all your funnel generating through SEOs?
Yeah, so we do kind of not necessarily. So search engine optimization is great, but we actually do a lot of our funnels and campaigns and things that we create. It's actually through, we like social media, so we like Facebook, although Facebook is something that really gets a bad rep because it's kind of like an easy barrier of entry for people. And so in the insurance world, a lot of people abuse it. Not a lot of compliance around it, so you just see a lot of like people fail at it, as well as people just say off the wall things in their advertising. So we really follow like an education based advertising. So it's very like knowledge education based, like let's give to the consumer. And then that generates leads and even appointments on our calendar. And it's, again, it's sales, but it's education based sales, right? Which is just different. I don't see a lot of people doing that right now the right way. So yeah, a lot of optimization behind it.
Have you guys tried any other methods outside of Facebook?
I would say I've tried most
Tried it
of it.
out?
Yeah, I mean, we've tried TV, we've tried radio, we've tried billboards, we've tried, other lead generation companies where they do, Google leads or YouTube, or I guess now you can have the TikTok stuff, which takes off for people. I don't think it works as well in my demographic, but we've tried seminars and webinars, and they all are fine, right? They all can be great if that's what you want to do, right? If you're somebody who really doesn't like, hey, inbound leads, calling them, or inbound leads, showing up to a meeting, whatever. If you like that idea of like, I want to stay in person and kind of skip the virtual model, that's fine. Then the seminar route has been pretty tried and true, and it's worked and it continues to work. And I think after COVID, it actually worked really well because everybody wanted to get the heck out of the house, right? So people stuck inside, and so I know seminars really popped off during that time. So there's definitely ways to market that aren't going anywhere and probably won't. But I think virtual is just it's a hard cookie to crack. And I think we cracked it. It's what I do. It's basically all my marketing today. So it works.
How big is your paid subscription group? Is it 5,000 or are they all paid or just a Facebook group?
Man, I wish. I wish. So we went from it being a free group to a paid group, and obviously you have a massive attrition rate when that happens. So we have hundreds of members in there right now. We definitely haven't cracked 1,000 mark yet. But it's not something that we market. It's not something that we really tell a lot of people about. It's more, if you follow me and it's you go to my website, it's like, oh, this is interesting. So yeah, it's really designed as a niche for advisors to like, hey, and agents to look at things from a different lens on the annuity side. It's not just like annuity sales, it's annuity education, right? And it's education that I don't think agents and advisors are getting taught from carriers or their uplines or their IMOs, because again, they're looking at things from a different lens. And we're looking at it as like problems and solutions and how they actually work. If you can't reasonably articulate the problem that they're trying to solve, you're probably going to create one. And that's the big issue with annuities. People just don't know how to use them appropriately.
Do you guys have a mastermind events, retreats?
We've been asked many times, and as it sits right now, I have not done one, but it's would definitely be in the works here over the next probably year or so. Yeah, this comes up a lot. It comes up a lot. People like that stuff, but not yet, not yet.
Interesting. So let's go back to the beginning. When you start become a producer, you have to get good at your own lane before you can say, hey, everybody, look at my lane, right?
Right.
What does that growth look like from day one, selling annuity to
Yeah.
realize I want to scale this?
Right. Well, it went back to I doing things wrong first, right? So I was super fortunate enough that I was under a captive agency. I was with one of their top financial advisors because there was a financial advisor or a securities wing, and he knew enough and trained pretty well to get me, I think, pretty far ahead. But going back and looking at all the things that I was trained on, I just started seeing all the pieces of the puzzle that were missing. So the foundation there definitely had to be rebuilt. But that helped me with having the mindset of like very basic financial principles. When he sold a lot of annuities, and when I started going down the path of annuities, and then I went under the RIA, I noticed like there are certain things that they do that you could do elsewhere, or you could try to do elsewhere, but your odds of trying to do them elsewhere and succeeding were pretty low, depending on what annuity and how you're using it, obviously. So it was a really cool thought for me, and really like light bulb moment of like these get abused, but if you do them the right way, you're gonna stick out as like a top one percenter. And if you use the right products in the right situations, you're probably gonna beat out a lot of people, a lot of competition because they really don't know how to use them. So like when I first started selling and eh, looking at what problems they actually solved, like income and reducing risk, and in some cases things like legacy and long-term care. When I started looking at those problems that they solve, it was kind of addicting, because I kept on seeing that exact same problem pop up when I would do like my fact finding with individuals. Like, oh, okay, so like we have this like massive amount of risk in your portfolio because you're in, all blue chip stock, right? Like, is that okay? Like when I say massive amount of risk, it doesn't mean like it's bad. It just means it needs to be leveraged, right? And when I started to notice that, it really brought me down the path of like, okay, these things can really fit in a lot of situations. And there's a concept that I actually train on now that I learned years ago. And it's the end goal for money. And it's really not complicated. From today to the day you die, your money's going to do two things for you. That's it. Okay. One, it's going to be spent by you, or two, it's going to be given by you. That's it. That's the only two things you can do with your money. Now, what you spend on and how you give are obviously lots of variables there. But if you just don't do anything with your money and you just grow it, right, you're going to be the richest person in the graveyard and leave a lot of legacy, and that's great. But if you maximize things like spending and that's all you care about, then obviously you run the risk of running out of money. So if you look at it through that lens, you find that planning actually gets pretty easy. It's which one means the most to you, and then what kind of percentage. I just met with somebody yesterday and they said 75% for me, 25% for my heirs. Okay, that's great. That leads us down a path that is way more simple than a super in-depth analysis on taxes, right? Like taxes are a secondary and tertiary objective. The primary objective is always going to be spending or giving, right? And so if we can focus on those, then we can build that foundation and then focus on the secondary, tertiary objectives, which mean, not as much as obviously your primary ones.
Let's talk about this captive agency. I'm wondering, can I ask, is it Allstate? Is it State Farm?
It was Banker's Life.
Okay. All right. So you had a mentor who were teaching you, putting you by his side. If you had to go back and look back at that relationship, what do you think was some of the best thing he taught you and the thing that he missed?
Yeah, man, that's a really good question. So he was actually he was the boss. And I had a trainer under him. And she actually works with me now, on the MGA side, so independent side. But what they both did pretty well was her name's Jess. So it was Jess, and I'm not gonna say his name, because we don't get along. So Jess, she was really good at the emotional side, right? So like really looking at like humans as humans, and really diving into like relationships, and obviously that's super important, and she did a good job there. He was really good at the number side, right? So like how the numbers meet with what you're trying to accomplish. So I think what they did for me is they really opened my eyes to like not only the emotional side of finance, but like the practical side of finance, and like how data can back that. Um, And I think what they could have done better was, instead of the sales side and always focusing on the sales side, like getting your next sale, incentivizing, it's like all monetary, right? Because that's kind of how it is in that MLM style, for a lot of companies. Instead of that, like incentivize like knowledge, and incentivize like growing your knowledge base so that you can reasonably articulate, certain solutions to clients, right? And it was just very much sales focused, which I had to untrain myself there. Like, you got to make money, obviously, but it doesn't have to be at the sacrifice of like pushing things onto people. And that was like a moral and ethical problem that I had. And they kind of put this wrapper on it of like, but you're helping people, but you're helping people, but you're helping people. And then you go back and you're like, yeah, but there are better solutions, right? So it's like, I could have given them a top tier solution, but instead I was giving them bottom tier solution. So it's like, it's helping them a little bit, but when do you make that like, how do you distinguish, like, when two solutions are available, one of them is worse, is it really helping them if you have access to the second one? So that was a big, like, aha crap, oh crap moment as well for me.
When you look back at his sales numbers, right? Hypothetically, for fun, if he took all the steps that you're teaching today, what do you think his sales number would have been like?
I would say if I'm gonna call him G, if G went the route that I went, because at the time he had been there for probably 8 years, maybe going on 10. Super smart guy, super distinguished guy. If he would have just left that scenario, or left that organization itself and started his own firm and followed like solution-based sales, right? And education-based sales, he'd have multi-$100 million RIA today, easily. Easily. Because I look at where I'm at today, even the short stint, that I've had compared to him. Um, and he had such a leg up on me that I probably wouldn't have caught him yet. So yes, he'd be very far ahead. And it's not just numbers there, right? It's not like, I'm not saying like he'd be at a quarter million or a quarter billion or $500 million RIA today. I'm not saying that from like a numbers perspective. I'm also saying that from a sticky business perspective, because there's a difference on being a company that is worth millions or tens of millions of dollars, because there's a lot of companies like MLM styles that are worth billions of dollars, right? And do a lot of revenue. I mean, we see high ups at companies that suck that are making multiples millions, right? It's not that. It's the sticky and ethical side of it that it's a differentiating factor, right? So he would be there. He'd be at stickier business, clients who actually liked him, ethical business, and that's the difference. That's the big difference. Like, don't cut corners, and you'll see positive results. I promise.
Going back to the high level CRM, you guys put a lot of work into the AI agents. Is there AI agent training component to it?
No. So we don't use the AI. You mean, do we use the AI for training?
Well, there's two type of AI softwares, right, inside of CRM. One is the actual AI agent where it work like appointment setter, call prospects, answer phone calls, take care of the most basic billings. Now, if you do any more actual administrative billing, that's a different story. And then there's the AI coaching. Like, it listens to all of your calls live while the call's happening and then coaching everyone. Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Traq AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Traq, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Traq automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Traq handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Traq. Visit traq.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Traq today.
No, we don't have that.
Okay.
We haven't built, And I'll be honest, I'm not opposed to it. Um, there are so many variables and things are so situational. I think
Yeah.
where AI lacks right now is that AI is very like A to B. There's a
Yeah.
little, there's a little bit of customization, human feel to AI. It's definitely getting better, right? But it's still very A to B, and that's not how finance is. Finance is not A to B. A to B is foundational building. Like, yes, if you do A, B, C, E, F, G, and you understand these concepts, like, yes, they're very black and white concepts foundationally, but then like applying them to a situation is not A to B. Like there is no, people say obviously there's no one situation that's the same. That's true. But there are definitely obviously solutions that repeat themselves constantly, right? Like in the annuity space, I think there's three big solutions with annuities, right? It's buffered annuity for accumulation and safe growth. There's income solutions for obviously maximizing income out of a portfolio. And then there's like long-term care solutions where you're trying to have a dual purpose long-term care solution and you don't like the idea of standard standalone long-term care. I think those are the three big things annuities solve. So like those are black and white, but the implementation behind them is not, right? So like how much out of a portfolio makes sense, which product makes sense, why that product. There's so many variables.
Mhm.
I think AI would probably do more disservice in that aspect. So I will be the guy, to train on that. And that's why I don't want it to replace me, right? I want to continue to be up on things and be able to regurgitate the way I practice. I want to be able to regurgitate that to people, and I think AI will never have that. I don't want to say never, but I don't think so.
We,
You know,
I have seen some creepy stuff. These
yeah,
creepy
yeah,
stuff have
right,
impressed me.
yeah, yeah, me too, yeah. But maybe we'll see, right?
So someone on Twitter posted a full conversation with ChatGPT about conscious,
Mm,
and they are coming along pretty far.
yeah,
It is almost scary. It is almost like iRobot,
right,
where that one guy have a conscious. So, anyways, that's the rabbit hole we're not going to go
yeah,
into. What are some of
yeah.
your top producers doing in 2024? 2024, all your students. What are some of the numbers?
That's a great question. So, just to make sure everybody understands. So, I'm not a recruiter, but I do have a team. I don't, the team is more of like a byproduct and it's like an MGA model, general agent model. But like majority of the people that subscribe to our platform, vast majority, like 95%, have their own uplines, own this, own that. We don't track production from them at all. So all I know is what they tell me. I don't actually know I can't track production, but we have anywhere from obviously the brand new agent that, just getting into annuities and they're in that like 2 to 6 months of just like knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. They're really trying to build that foundation to obviously, we have billion-dollar RIAs in there that are just how do we do this better, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, we have an organization in there right now that has about 10 producers, and I mean they're doing 100 million a year in annuity production. Obviously, that would be one of the top companies out there doing it. Can't name names, but and we have solo producers that are obviously doing as just solo, just insurance producers doing 7 to 15 million, that would be, to put that into perspective for people, you are the top 3% if you do over a million in business, which is, when I say a million, I mean premium, which is not that hard to do in the annuity world. So your top 3%, granted, understand how many licensed advisors are not focusing on annuities. If you're doing over, I think it's 3 to 5 million, you're the top 1%er, right? So that doesn't seem that sexy when you're actually talking about elite annuity producers. But if you're there, you're actually doing pretty damn good. So good on you. But we try to get people, how do you get like that extra 25% growth, 50% growth with as little effort as possible? And a lot of it's just, your system just needs to be updated or your process needs to be better. Your closing rate is bad because you're not actually presenting real solutions to people. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. If you go to your CRM and you track your source of sales, what percentage is from funnels of Facebook leads, outside leads, generated paid leads, and then what percentage is referrals?
Yeah, good question. So the CRM is it's about a year old right now, and it's actually in our CRM specifically, it's focused on Facebook social media only. So all the leads that come in are all coming from Facebook, all of them. So obviously we have referrals and stuff that come through that we track and whatnot, but it's not my focus on the business, right? So for me, I'm at the point in my career because annuities take a while to really start getting referrals on. It's not like other things. Like annuities, like when somebody buys an annuity, like they really don't see the results of it. I mean, until after a year, if obviously an annuity that credits interest yearly and that's you're using it for accumulation, then they kind of got to see how that thing rolls. And like back in 2022 when the markets dipped, right? A lot of those annuities returned 0%. So then it took another year for people to really realize like, okay, what is this thing capable of? And then as far as income, obviously that's a weird one because it's just like, you use an annuity for income, you have income that rolls in starting within a year or two or 10. It just depends on the deferral period. So you kind of don't really know if it's good or, I mean, the consumer doesn't really realize like how it's actually affecting them for a while. So it does take a while to really get referrals rolling. So for me, I'm just starting to get those. I'm just starting to see the fruits of those of that. But again, for my practice, because again, it's completely virtual right now, even though I do see people in person here and there. I would say referrals are like less than 5% of what I have coming in. It's all leads. It's all just lead generation, multiple leads a day. Out of those leads, appointments come in on the calendar and I run them.
I was in car business for 5 years, and this one guy named Joe Verdi taught a really big course. And the course is building from the referral pipeline. I think he might have a book. So if you ever get a chance, grab that book. And
Yeah.
his system is incredible. I'll tell you offline because then this is taking up too much of this podcast. But he have an incredible system. And I think once you dump that system into your CRM, put it on automation, you guys will build a machine from there. So 2025, what's on the horizon?
Good question. I have a theme this year, and the theme is more. So I want to do more exposure, obviously more business. I want to spend more time with family. I want to maximize more of my time. I want to just do more in all aspects of my life, in all things that are good, and obviously less in all things that are bad and take up time when they shouldn't. So the theme is more. So this year, I am for the first time making a push to actually get our training academy in front of people so that they can see really what it does and how it really helps. So we're actually doing paid ads for it this year. So that's kind of fun for the first time. And I'll be making more posts about it and stuff. But, I would like to see us break 1,000 members in that. I'd like to see my personal production still maintain, even though I'm going to be spending about half the time. So I'd still like to be in that, 15 million plus mark. Um, and I'd like to be able to do all of that and spend less time in the office, right? That's the big component, more time with my family, more vacations, more giving to other people because we're big into that, more time with me and the big man upstairs, more time with my church, more time with my friends, more time with my family, maximizing my time and making more money while spending less time in the office. Isn't that what we all want?
Are those written goals or just in your head?
Everybody says, Tracy, do you write your goals down? And I have a board and people have like vision boards and all of that. I have behind the camera, actually, it just says more with a big explanation or exclamation mark behind it. So that's my written. So, but no, I know there's power in that. So maybe I should.
What happens when you hit it?
You increase your goal.
There gotta be a gift. There gotta be a win, a celebration. What's the
Oh, right.
celebration?
Yeah. Normally when I hit goals, there's a couple celebrations. So one is like buying my time back, right? So obviously if we do all of those things, that means more revenue for the company, and revenue for me doesn't mean I need to change my lifestyle. It just means I get to buy more time back and give more. So that's how I look at it. So it's probably going to be a nice time off, a nice chunk of time off. That's where everything really goes to, is like, how can I buy more time back?
Like a vacation trip?
Oh yeah. Yeah. My kids are little, so it's harder right now. I got 2 1-year-olds and I got a 4-year-old, so we probably won't go very far. But yes, like last year, at towards the end of the year, we went just a couple hours away, just like an Airbnb. It was really awesome. It was on the river, volleyball court, sand pit. Kids loved it. Slide, jacuzzi, pool. It was great. So just different change of scenery, and then we bring the family, right? So it's like, the more revenue you bring in, the more, again, you're more able to bless people. So I would love to be able to say, hey, let's all go to, my big goal is, I'll tell you some goals that I have long term. My goal is to be able to cut $100,000 check to my church and not even blink if I wanted to. I can't do that right now. My goal is, and I'm not talking like tithing over a long period of time. I just mean like, oh, you guys need money? There it is. Like, not even a blink, right? I'd love to be able to be in that financial position. Another one is being able to take all of my family, all of the kids, everybody, and go basically anywhere I wanted to for 10 days, and nobody has to worry about anything. It just goes on a card, right? Again, that's not like a flex. That's I don't care if you can afford it or not. Like, I'm going to cover it. You don't have to worry about it, right? And we can just be a family and love on each other. And yeah, so those are two big things I'd like to do consistently.
I like it. Maybe one day you can write it down and write down next to more what your goal is, like Cancun, like Porsche 911, and have it both right in front of you. Send me a screenshot.
Okay, we'll do.
Tracy, thank you for coming on this episode. And I'm gonna follow up with you 9 to 12 months from now, and to see where you are, and love to hear some winning stories of you and your team and all your students, some rag to riches stories, and of what they achieved. And I love interviewing people who build communities and help others succeed in this community. So this is a cool episode. And
Yeah, thanks,
if
Ed.
you have heard this episode, you want to follow Tracy. Tracy, how do they follow you?
So I'm big on LinkedIn these days. So follow me on LinkedIn, and then obviously you can find me on Facebook. Got a Facebook profile there. We do put content out here and there on YouTube or Instagram, although not as much. We'll probably do a little bit more of that. But yeah, that's where you can follow me.
All right. Thank you for tuning into this episode, and thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.